This is a very exciting night for me. I opened a mortgage company several years ago. I invested a lot of money. I had a lot of talented salespeople ready to go. We got off to an extraordinary first month or two, started sniffing a lot of money, and the bottom fell out. The entire industry shifted, and basically it wasn't long. Months later, we pretty much had to close up shop, and I had to refocus my energy somewhere else. So I've lived this before, what's happening in the mortgage industry. At the same time, my vision for Powur, as many of you know, is that the mortgage industry would be $100 million division, if not bigger, for our company. It just made so much sense. It was so the industries were so similar. The trusted expert of the home. They are very smart about finance and how to sell rates and all of those things. So it just always seemed like it was a perfect addition for Powur. And that's why I'm so excited here, because we've got an industry leader, a very special gentleman by name of Nathan Kowarski. Nathan was recently featured in the LA Times for winning an award as a Visionary of the Year for Orange County. This is a gentleman who sold billions of dollars in loans. And Nathan, we're very excited to have you here. Welcome, my friends. Good to have you.
Thanks, Bobby.
So let me ask you a question, man. So in your view as an industry expert, why would the mortgage industry, why would professionals in the mortgage industry want to add solar to their portfolio now?
That's a good question. So the first thing I think of when I think about trends and where to be focusing my efforts, you're looking at what the government's doing. So the government is making it intentionally difficult for mortgage professionals right now, just because they're increasing interest rates because they need to slow the economy down. On the other hand, they're incentivizing homeowners to get solar panels on their homes, which makes our job easier rather than harder. So, as a mortgage professional, something that I'm very passionate about. I've been doing it for the last 16 years. I'm looking at it as an additional product to add to our mix because of all the natural synergies that occur. We have a book of business, we have homeowners, we have a lot of contacts, and this is something that helps the environment. It helps the people save money, which is what we're doing anyway. It's literally it's almost a no-brainer when you think about it. If you really look at all the macroeconomic trends right now and what the government's doing. So smart money follows what the government wants them to do. You want to be focusing on what the government's incentivizing you to do. And right now they're incentivizing homeowners to put solar on their homes.
Yeah, it's almost the perfect storm, right? So we know why it makes sense for the industry. Why for your company? Why did you make the decision with all your resources, your success, the talented people you've got? Why did you make the decision to add solar to your portfolio, your company's portfolio?
That's a great question, Bobby. For us, I have a team of talented guys. I have about 75 loan officers, full of talent, full of energy, ready to make money. Problem is that they're sitting there banging their head against the desk trying to get deals in right now, and it's not as easy as it used to be. The fact that the rates went up so quickly really took a lot of people by surprise. And everybody that's working for me, we have families to feed. So it just made sense.
Yep. It seems like perfect sense. So, and look, you're a smart guy. You're a business guy. You've been featured in prominent magazines. You did your due diligence. You've looked at all the companies. You looked around, looked at the biggest companies. So I guess a very important question is why Powur?
That is a good question. So I initially started off exploring because I hadn't had any experience in the past. So I partnered up with another installer at first, and the experience was significantly less than satisfactory. Their attention to detail, their follow-up, their training, there was holes everywhere. And it just seemed like a very immature company and industry. And it was pretty discouraging at first. So I looked at other companies. I looked around. I interviewed many, many different companies. I mean, I don't think there's any that I didn't speak to at this point. Tried a few other installers, tried a few other things. And it was kind of the same game everywhere. I tried, and it's tough to even get a call back from even a sales rep. And it's like, the account execs don't call you back. Then if that part's weak, how strong is their service and after the sale? And for us, like the first thing that my guys are going to be wanting to talk to is their friends, their family, their neighbors. And if you're going to be putting panels on their homes and you're living next door to this guy, I mean, just in general, you want to provide a good service, but you want this guy coming knocking on your door in 5 years, upset with you for putting these, crummy panels on his house and no one's replying to him, and that kind of thing. So we were looking for someone that had the technology. So my background's in technology. I really like technology. I've spent a ton of time investing into a platform and building a platform for my mortgage company. And with this, I was able to see that Powur had already done what I had done for my mortgage company. And this allows us to put people instantly into a system that's already working and basically plug them in without having to try to reinvent the wheel. And that's something that I really liked. And the fact that people are responding to me with intelligent answers coherently, which seems like not a big ask. It really is. It really is a nice breath of fresh air in the solar industry. And it's something that I can see that the way that it's organized in such a way that I can get clients for life, even though the mortgage industry is not in a good place right now. These are clients that we're going to have forever that we can grab. And then also when we're recruiting guys, so we're recruiting new guys that are interested in solar, maybe weren't even doing mortgages before, or guys at that work at other mortgage companies that are going to join me to do solar now. When they see how well my mortgage company is put together, they're going to want to hop over and do mortgage with me when the boom hits, because we don't know how long that's going to be. But when that happens, when the recession hits and rates fall back, they're all going to be able to come back and still do loans with me. And I've built that relationship with them.
I love it, man. So look, I know our relationship is relatively new, right? But if you could share with people, because I think it's very important. It's like dating, right? And that first impression when you build new relationships, what would you say again to the industry professionals? What's your initial experience been like? Onboarding, attention from our executive team, attention to detail. What's that been like so far?
It was a breath of fresh air in this industry. So it more mirrors what I'm used to as far as mortgages go. Very professional. There's accountability. There's someone calls you back within a reasonable amount of time. If not, they let you know they're working on it and we'll get back to you, rather than just letting multiple days go by. It was a breath of fresh air. And I'd say that of all the places that I spoke to so far, it was enough for me to say, okay, I found the guys. It was very clear to me.
Well, we feel the same way. So in closing, man, what would you say to the industry professionals out there in the mortgage industry about solar, about, the next 2-3 years, about, where you see Powur's place in the industry and the mortgage industry working together? What would you say to those professionals out there?
I would say that, you don't need to put mortgage on the shelf or anything like that. It's just a way to supplement your income. And with the current market right now, you don't want to be sitting there like, what are you going to do with your time right now? You have all the systems in place. You have everything that you're used to doing for mortgages, and the industry is so similar as far as the sales side of it goes. You're working with homeowners, you're saving them money. So all of the systems that you've already built and you're used to doing for mortgages, you guys can apply this to the solar industry with a great amount of success. If you've had success in the mortgage industry, you can apply this to the solar industry now, and it's only going to make you more money from the solar deals that you're doing, and then also from mortgages later on from the additional clients that you've got from doing solar on their homes. Now they're your clients for mortgages, and then the additional relationships you're going to build within the industry. It's a no-brainer for me. Yeah.
One more thing came to mind in real simple terms, quickly. How similar is the sale? How similar is that?
It's very similar. You gotta build rapport, and you gotta show them the savings, and you're usually someone's shopping you, and you gotta keep them interested, and you gotta show value. You gotta create value. You gotta know what you're talking about. So I'd say it's extremely similar.
Yeah. And how about the economics in closing? Whatever you were used to making, here we're looking at $8,000, $10,000, $12,000 per sale quite often, depending market to market, home to home. How's that compare to what you and your people have been used to?
I'd say for an independent broker that is used to making that kind of money, then they're going to be able to see the same kind of returns in this model as well if they're doing it independently. That's something that they could expect. So the model scales over, it slides over to this industry just fine. Not a problem.
I hate the term no-brainer, but mortgage and solar coming together, just if ever anything represented a no-brainer, I just think this is it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you, Bob.
Well, we are honored to have you and your team be a part of our company, and we're so excited that you picked us, and we look forward to a long and profitable relationship. We can help tons of homeowners through these economic times. We can impact the environment and do the right thing, and that's what Powur is all about. So, again, thank you for being with us here today, and thank you for what we know the impact you're going to have on our company.